Oh, looks like we are live today. Hello, I'm alive. I'm very much alive, and got some rest over the weekend. Played 3 days in a row, and that was a workout. My fingers are actually sore today. We played so much, and I had to do a lot of work on my my live guitar rig, which required me to play a lot of guitar while I was at home. I hope you all are doing having a wonderful Monday. My day has been awesome. We are about to set out on putting new strings on a Taylor 414 custom 414 CE. This is the same model of acoustic guitar that I've owned. I bought mine 24 years ago, and this one unfortunately Taylor, I believe, has changed their serial number to the same type of crap that Gibson and all the other to hide the year of manufacture and all that stuff. Although I don't quote me on that because I don't know. He thinks that this is a 2009, but there isn't one single 9 in the serial number on this, so I don't know. If you know about Taylor serial numbers, let me know. I don't have time to look that stuff up. This is a very beautiful guitar, and we are our endeavor today is to lower the string action and make this thing a bit more playable. And I had the moment of honesty with the owner of this guitar, who said that it was having some fret buzz. And God bless you, man, but I played the guitar. He's saying that F and G, but he had some really heavy strings on this instrument. So I had to tell him honestly that it was technique. And, you know, he took that like a big boy and went, yeah, I guess I got to work on my F bar chords, because he was getting some fret buzz down here. He just wasn't, he was having to push and work too hard to push those strings down. I believe the strings were 12 gauge strings, which for the life of me, I don't know why anybody would play a string that heavy on a guitar unless they're recording rhythm guitars. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm not a real big dude. You know, I don't have big, huge, you know, bullet, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger arms, so I don't like to work that hard. So I'm pulling a BB King on this gentleman, and I'm going to put 11 gauge strings on this guitar. We're going to use a set of clear tones, and I'd like to give a shout out to my sponsors. Thank you, Smilin' Bill. Thank you, Diet Pepsi, and thank you, Ernie Ball Strings. You guys have all been great, and I appreciate it very much. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup on this thing first, and then we'll get to the work on this thing. Let me see, Oscar. Yeah, fun fact, flat wound string, yeah, nice. How about flat wound strings on the Taylor? Nah, yeah, no flat wound strings. Although, I will say this, let me grab these. Okay, this guy, I don't know how long these strings have been on this guitar, could not tell you. But, where is it? The G string, the wound G string on this was up at the third, where the money hole is, up there at the third, fourth, third, second, third frets. That G string was worn down to a flat wound string, literally. This guy has played the hell out of this guitar, which, God bless you, man. And if your guitar doesn't have any dings on it, you're not playing it enough. And also, your strings are not worn out because they're all dirty and dark and black and sound shitty. Your strings are worn. Hey, you got this gentleman right here is one of the finest men on planet Earth. Look at this supermodel stuff.
Fashion models. Look, what you're trying to say.
This guy. He's not only that, but he's one of the greatest bass players, and I have to say he's right up there in the league of Greg Allman.
Woo!
And slide guitar. And I get the fortune of listening to him teach guitar, which I learn something from him every single lesson he does. So that's cool.
Greg was not very great, but Dwayne.
That's it. Dwayne.
But hey, I thought maybe you were talking about how I was as good a singer as Greg Allman. Now I'd gladly accept that.
I just as a side story.
Yes.
We played at Union Grassroots Festival yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Or was it yesterday?
Sunday?
No, Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And I get the days ran into one another this
I'm
weekend.
with you.
You've been playing a lot too.
Yeah.
And I was having a discussion with someone about you, and he agreed with me.
Police officer,
as a parole officer.
Parole officer.
He agreed with me that you are one of the best slide guitar players he's ever heard. So he also has heard you play slide, which doesn't sound like you do that a whole lot.
On bass?
Well, no, in a live setting. I don't know.
Whenever my band is playing, and I say my band, where it's Too Loud McLeod and the Silencers or Two Bamboo,
okay,
where I'm sort of the front man, lots of slide.
Okay, yeah.
But I also play that as a duo, and when it's a duo, I'm playing acoustic with a sax player. Sax player can't vamp the chord changes while I'm doing it, but I do. We actually have a number of things where it's a, sort of traditional style blues stuff that's playing on my dobro, and so slide works pretty well on that.
Excuses.
Yes.
But, I'm fortunate enough, and I'm sorry if I didn't have my camera guy drinks a lot. So he doesn't keep up.
Oh, I see. Yes.
The camera. I think people are looking at the back of my head.
They start.
Yeah. But what was I going to say? I'm one of the fortunate folks who has the opportunity to get to see this man play slide guitar ever so often, and
every Monday about 3:30.
Every
4
Monday.
o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
It happens right here. I have to yank my Les Paul out of his hands. He grabs it. No, I'm joking.
It is awfully nice.
It's a good one. So let's get started on this thing. Oscar, welcome, man. It's good to see you. Let's see, Canadian fishing musician, 12 gauge on an acoustic. Wow. Well, that's very common, 12 gauge strings are really common, at least in most worlds. I think Taylor puts 12s on their guitars from the factory. They also use Elixir strings, which are overpriced strings. That's all I can say about that. They also turn to spider webs after you've played them with a pick or your fingers for a while. And also, I'd like to welcome any new subscribers that I've got here today. A couple of you guys I don't recognize, so I'm really happy that you've joined me on this stream. This is going to be kind of boring, maybe, but we'll do our best. I like to do these things just to kind of show people what we do here, or what I do. And I'm just going to start off by cleaning this thing, and we'll start by polishing the frets. So I'm using semi-chrome polish. This stuff is the best make it shiny stuff on planet Earth. You want your frets to shine. Every time you change the strings, use a little bit of this, and your frets will be looking sweet. They also feel better when they've been polished, because you get some residue on them every time you play your guitar. And we'll get you over here so you can kind of see. Hopefully this camera will show the remarkable change in appearance of these frets as I go over them. I've done the first one, and you can see how much crap came off of that. Let's see, so here we go. Alright. Alright. Again, I want to thank you all for joining me today on this live stream. It's great to see some of you here. And for the new viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. Now, originally, when I was looking at this guitar, I was kind of thinking I was going to have to put some shims in the neck, because the string action here at the 12th fret was a little bit way too high, I should say. But the moment I checked the truss rod and adjusted that to be right, and pulled those 12 gauge strings off of it, or loosened the tension on the low E string.
Then just drop it on the floor. Right there.
You need a cable.
Yeah, we're stealing your guitar.
That's all right. I know where you live. I noticed that the neck relief had relaxed a lot, so I believe that the lighter gauge strings and a slight adjustment to the truss rod after we get the light strings on here, this thing's going to be back in business. And on Taylors, it's generally not necessary to file down the saddle.
because of their beautiful neck design, that you can take the neck off in about 5 minutes, put shims in there, it takes about 10 minutes, and put the neck back on, it takes about another 15 minutes, and you have a new neck angle, unlike Martins and Gibsons and lots of other manufacturers who have not figured out that the bolt-on method is serviceable. So I think, boy, I'm gonna have to really look at this. I should have started up at this end cleaning them, because I'm sorry, you can't see what I'm up to. My camera guy, he drinks a lot, so you can't follow me. There is a little bit of fret wear on this guitar. I'm going to recommend to the owner of this guitar that about a year from now that we do a fret level and crown. I'm going to give him a little more time. There's not enough. They look well, this one's pretty bad. Now I'm feeling it with my fingernail, which is a very sensitive part of your body. You can kind of get an idea. Yeah, this has another year left, and we can do a level at that time, fret level and crown. So I think I'm pretty comfortable with that decision. If this was my guitar, I would let it go another year. And he's not complaining about any fret buzz due to, fret wear on this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give him one more year. And again, I will recommend that we do a fret level. And I'll set a calendar date to call him and let him know that we need to level the frets on his guitar. So that's what I'm doing right now. Let's see. Now we gotta tighten up the good old. Be very careful. This is gold hardware. You don't want to scratch it. That looks terrible. Look at how loose these machine heads are. I hope you can see that. Also, another thing, when you're just as a typical piece of advice that I offer is when you change your strings on your guitar every single time, check your nuts. If you have this type of machine head, tighten these down a little bit. It's not, again, not Arnold Schwarzenegger moment. Just snug and stop. They don't have to be super tight. If you over tighten them, what can happen is that the finish will crack under the machine head. So just snug, and that's it. That's all you got to do. I know I've done this 1,000 times on, well, I'll just say 200 times on my channel. But I have a lot of fun doing these live streams, and I don't have to really come up with anything terribly entertaining, because heck, I'm hoping to share with you how I do things when I set up guitars, and I hope that if you don't have someone like me in your neighborhood or that works at a guitar shop, that you will do this on your own. Nothing I'm doing here is rocket science, except for when I pull a neck or off a 1958 Martin or something like that, which, by the way, that's a 1958 Martin over there that I pulled the neck off of and reset it, and its glue's drying right now. Had to reset the neck angle on that one. So yeah, I do some stuff that's pretty intense, and I only shot video of that. I didn't do a live stream. That's way too time consuming, and requires such intense focus that I don't like doing live streams when I'm doing that sort of stuff. I prefer to just shoot video and then release that on my channel, maybe at a later date. We'll see what happens with that. Look at this thing. Hello. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm back here.
Oh yeah, he's hiding.
Ah.
He's hiding. Alright, so we're just cleaning this thing up. Alright, so this is just a part of the service that I do here, is cleaning the guitar. It's a good idea to clean them up. They look pretty. If you're playing live, it just looks awesome. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and clean the fingerboard after I've polished the frets, and do this all in a kind of a process, the order of operations that I normally do. And forgive me, let's see, that one really protect the frets from, I don't think so. Mad Musician, hello. Yeah, that's a subject of pretty great debate. I don't know about flat wound strings making frets impervious to scratches. No, that does make sense to make that statement. But the other thing is that you know, flat wound strings are very heavy in gauge. Meaning, you know, I think probably the lightest set of flat wounds you could get for an acoustic guitar would be 12s or 13s. I don't know that for sure because I don't have a lot of clients that use them. I do have a couple that do, and they use 13s on their guitars and their flat wounds. So, you know, it's just not a very common request, is what I'll say, for putting flat wound strings on an acoustic. Ultralights on my Dreadnought because, yeah, shave the braces down. Yeah, okay, Oscar, that's cool. Now, yeah, the Oscar, I think you emailed me one time about some bracing in a guitar. Am I correct in that? Oh wow, okay, cool. Yeah, I just don't have a lot of requests for flat wounds. You know, I gotta get my cleaning solution here. It always depends on, you know, this is not my own guitar, and I don't play flat wounds on mine. I don't like the way they sound. I don't play jazz, ultimately, but if I was playing a song that needed that sound, certainly could do it. I don't have any big angst towards flat wound strings. They're just generally pretty heavy gauge, but that's cool to know that they do make a lighter gauge flat wound. But that is I won't say it's very rare, but it's fairly rare that the guys, at least in my area of the country, a lot of guys, not many guys use flat wounds. We have a lot of guys that are playing guitars like this. Now, don't quote me on this. I don't think the owner of this guitar plays at his church, but we have a lot of guys that are members of their worship squad, worship team musicians, and a lot of those guys use Taylors, and none of them use flat wound strings. The one gentleman that does use flat wound strings, he uses it on his Les Paul recording Les Paul. Really cool and very rare. Not very, but it's pretty rare Les Paul. He uses those strings on that only, exclusively. And they're like, it's an electric guitar, and they're like 13 gauge flat wounds. So I forgot to pull my. Now, if you use, I'm using Simple Green to clean the DNA off the fingerboard. It works great. You want to wipe all of it off of the guitar. Don't leave any drips over the back of the neck or anything that drips down on there, because it will discolor the finish on some guitars. So be very careful if you use this, just to make sure you wipe it all off immediately. That is my policy, and I'm sticking with it. It hasn't failed me yet. I've been using Simple Green for a very long time, and it's a great cleaning agent. Kind of evaporates into nothing, and it doesn't. It does a great job digging out the remnants of guck that's on here. And forgive me if I'm not engaging with the chat very much. I'm not going to apologize. I would just like to ask that you be patient with me, because I'm working right now, and I can't take a lot of time to answer questions, but I will look it over. So just be patient with me. I like to engage with my folks watching, but sometimes it's just not possible. I just want to share what I'm doing with y'all. All right, so now we're going to leave that sit and dry out, and we're going to go ahead and clean up the body of this guitar. I know you can't see everything I'm doing here, but I'm doing my best to keep my camera guy focused and pointed at where I'm working. Here we go. And wait till this thing's gonna look really nice when I'm all done cleaning it off, and it's gonna look really beautiful. I use Dunlop 65 guitar polish exclusively, and I want to thank Dunlop for your sponsorship of my channel and our shop. You guys are awesome, and you make such a beautiful and wonderful product. I've been using it for decades on my own instruments, and if it's good enough for mine, I feel it's good enough for yours. I don't have a huge collection of guitars at home. I think I have about 17 of them. I don't sell or roll guitars, buy them to sell them or anything like that. I buy them to play them, and usually when I buy one, it's exactly what I want and need, and I have no reason to sell it. They all have a purpose in my musical adventure in life. I hope you all got a chance maybe to watch Beato's live stream today. It was very interesting, about talking about songwriters making less than $10,000 a year. That is the truth. It's astonishing how musicians just don't make anything, especially now with AI. Not that I'm anti-AI, although I do not engage with it in any way. I never use ChatGPT. I don't give a shit about ever hearing a AI generated song. It has no purpose in my life. But that's my statement. I also don't watch television or ever look at commercials. If one comes on while I'm watching a YouTube video or whatever, I just fast forward over it. If I want to buy something, I'll buy it because I need it. And I do watch gear demos and things like that. And I also watch other guys' guitar repair channels because I can learn something from them. Dave's World of Fun Stuff is an awesome channel. Jerry Rosa, unfortunately, is no longer building instruments, and that's kind of a sad... I wouldn't say he's no longer building instruments, but he's not doing much in that line of work anymore that I'm aware of, which is really sad. I know he's probably still doing work for his neighbors and people in his community, but he's no longer taking on work that people send into him. And I totally get that. Sometimes you gotta just call it quits. Been doing it a long time. And again, you know, forgive me for not engaging with the chat. I can't right now. I have to stay focused and get this guitar done for my client. This guitar has been here since came in Wednesday of last week, and he was behind a couple other guitars that I was in the midst of working on, and hoping that maybe today I can send this thing home with him. So, gotten all of that taken care of. I know I'm my camera guy. He drinks a lot, you guys. I can't get him to chill on that whole thing. He drinks way too much. Also, I want to say congratulations to my nephew for his accomplishment. I'm going to just call it an accomplishment. I am so very proud of you, young man. What you've done is probably one of the best things that you've ever done in your life. You know, I'm so very proud of you. You stick to your guns. All right, let's put a little bit of oil on this bad boy. It's 10 times as much oil as I needed to put on here, but we're going to oil both the neck and the bridge on this guitar. The beautiful piece of ebony. It's a very light piece of ebony on this fingerboard. Alright, so we're going to do that. Now we'll move over here to the bridge. And this has the Expression System 2, I believe, in this guitar. Very killer pickups system. We're just going to treat the wood with a little bit of oil, keep the bad stuff out, keep the good stuff in. And alright, here we go. Boy, this neck is soaking up this oil very rapidly. It's pretty dry. So it's good. This thing was probably long overdue for an oil treatment. Oil change, right? I'm gonna do an oil change on this thing. Right, with linseed oil is what I use. Just wipe it on and wipe it off. Don't leave big puddles of it. Don't leave a thick layer of it on here. Just a little bit is all you need. Interesting, I've never seen a tailor have that situation going on. They used a lot of filler material. I want to show you all this little moment here in the fingerboard. I don't know if you can see this little spot here where they routed out for this inlay. There's a big old black filler space right there. I mean, I can see it. I'll bet the guy that owns the guitar has probably never seen that, nor would he care.
Run home and eat something. I'm getting a little goofy. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You got everything?
I'm okay.
All right, I'll be.
Gotta eat something. Remember to eat. Remember to eat. It's important. And don't eat shit. Eat healthy foods. If everybody ate like a type 1 diabetic should eat, you would watch the medical expenses and the health of our country and the world improve immensely, and obesity would literally die. Literally. So, that's my statement on that. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I can say that pretty easily and confidently. Right. Okay, so we got this thing all cleaned. That's how long it took me to clean this thing up. It took about 15 minutes or so maybe to oil the fingerboard. And now we'll get you pointed down here in the business. We're just going to put some strings on it, and we'll see what happens with our string action. Charlie, hello. Good to see you, brother. I haven't been able to tune into your live streams recently, man. I've been so busy here at the shop, and I know you're still out there playing every Monday and Sunday, and sometimes on Fridays. So. Good for you, and I'm glad you're doing it and getting to share your music with 18 billion people every Sunday and Monday or Friday or whatever day of the week it is. It's awesome. Whew, okay, that just didn't go correct. I don't like the string companies that wind all their strings. That's just annoying. So, go ahead and put these strings. I love that Taylor uses ebony end pins in their guitars. Call it psychological. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so with what just happened with that string, so what happened there, I seem to be putting things on the floor today a lot for some reason, so I'll have to stop doing that. But what just happened on this one is that the end pin is not shaved off at an angle, so we're gonna sand an angle in that so that when you put the end pins in here, it doesn't get stuck on the end of the end pin. And let's put our saddle in there the right way. Now I'm going to do that with all of these, so this is going to take a little bit longer. But now I don't have to worry about the owner putting a string on there when he puts new strings on this and having it, you know, come undone too quickly. Okay. Silver is the next one, and you'll have to forgive me if I get called away because given the fact that I work at such a small staff, I am almost always left here alone when I go live. And I know a lot of you can testify to the fact that that's true. So I've been here by myself, or with two of us all day, and now I'm here by myself the moment I go live. And
I want to play this.
usually Mike only goes home for just a few minutes, and it's always usually not a problem for me to get my keep my live stream moving. But it is possible I'll have to step away for a few minutes if someone comes in and needs my help. Alright, so this is working really well. There we go. So now I've filed those down so they have a nice angle, so when the owner puts the strings on here, the string doesn't get snagged up and he's stuck on the end of the end pin. I'm hoping I didn't lose my camera. I don't think I did. Okay, here we go. Let's string her up. Ready? Here we go. Fastest string change in the West. Oh, somebody's calling me, probably. That was pretty close to an E, I think. I can almost tune a guitar without a tuner in this day and age. Okay, it doesn't look like my live stream has died yet. And again, forgive me for not interacting with the chat, but I'm working. And I can't... I have to get this guy's guitar done. And again, I'm just doing this to hopefully help someone who may not have someone like myself in their community, or someone they can trust to do this sort of work for them, that they can do this on their own. Been putting strings on guitars like this since I was about 8 years old. I've never changed how I do it, and in my humble opinion, I don't feel there's a better way to put strings on a guitar. There are just different ways to put strings on a guitar. I love how Taylor cuts their nuts also. They do a really great job of leaving very little material above the strings, which leaves almost nothing for the string to get snagged up on here in the nut. And that's how you do it right. These guys build, I think, the best guitars in the world, at least at a commercial level. Okay. I'm sorry, my camera guy is not keeping up with me here. Again, he drinks way too much. I'm gonna have to talk with him.
Gives it that sort of nasally sort of sound. Is that position.
Speaking of drinking, I don't usually do it.
Well, look at that.
It's amazing how much alcohol our country consumes, or the world consumes. It's fun, I get it. That's too sharp. That should be pretty close.
10 minutes ago. Okay.
Let's see how close my ear is. We'll see. Whoa, look at that. G string's perfect. Well, I got one perfect. All right, let's stretch these babies. Here we go. All right. Bad musicians. Magician, I gotta change my 2000s 12-string Gibson Epiphone acoustic. Ah, boy. I hear ya. Oscar Stern. Yeah. 432. Oh, jeez. Don't start that. Come on, man. Come on. I joke about that. I don't care how you tune your guitar. If you tune to 432, all that's going to mean is that if you go to an open jam anywhere in the world, you're going to have to retune your guitar when you get there. Not anywhere, you know what I mean. I can't. Generalizing about that sort of stuff is not really fair. It's like saying 432 kilohertz sucks is like saying women drivers. Like, really? I've had to record songs with guys that tune to 432 hertz, and for someone like myself who sets up all their guitars and tunes them to 440 hertz, all that means is that I've got to, number one, retune my guitar, and then once it's retuned, I have to intonate it. What's happening? Did you get your card?
I was going to see Mike. Is he here?
He just went home to have lunch.
Okay.
But I know where your card is.
Okay, well, I was going to ask him another question.
There's no money left on it, though.
Good, that's good, because I only had about 5,000 on it when I left it here.
Cool.
So I
Well,
hope you had a good time.
That was just about exactly how much we spent. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on here. I know it's
If you're doing the video, I don't.
Yeah, that's a.
And let's see. I'm not even sure which string it should be. We can check that. I'm not sure if I have it exactly right, but it's very searchable. Let's start with that. Yeah, AC1C. In fact, what we should do is let's start with where the notes go. And I'm going to write this down. It's all going to be on the B string. And it's going to help you a lot to use specific fingers. Though I may switch which fingers are switched at some point if I read something that makes more sense. But we won't worry about playing the up notes. In fact, the up notes are all this string. So you play a note, and then it's so that open thing is its own. Let's look and see the notes that you're going to be using are starting at the 12th fret where the double dots are. Okay. And I would say use your little finger on that one. And then the next note after the open string, but we won't worry about getting the open string. We'll add them later. This is 12. So it's 12, 10, 9. I gotta go look and I think 10 again. check this, but yeah, 12, 10, 9, 10. And then 7. Where the dots are? 7, 9, 5, 7.
You know what I used to do for
4, 5. And then it's going to go, once you get there, it's going to be 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4.
Which those are just not built like a British house. And they also have a switch on them. I'm not a fan of that, but
Right.
I don't either, except for when
So-
you like multiple people. I like being on the side of my dog. Those people go,
you're walking off and saying, "Is that bitch out here?"
12, 10, 9, 7.
I want both of those.
5, 7. It works down there by going this way so that you come up this way.
What I'll do is
Just
I'll
write 'em up.
I'll send this one to you, and I'll write up your receipt,
Yep, yep.
and
Oops.
I'll put the amount, that whatever the wife would agree with, I'll put that amount.
11:45, right? I'll just pay for that. She blew my ass up because I wrote him the check.
Don't film me on your phone yet.
Okay.
I gotta look it up or make sure.
Paid $279.
Make it up. But
That's
that's right, last 10 or 12, 10, 9, 10, 9.
She might, she may have a case, and I'll write that up, and I'll let you talk to Mike about it. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, don't sweat it.
Well,
That's all right, that's our first sale of the day. No, I'm good.
7.
Good, we get you feeling pretty fucking busy, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're
4,
strong.
5.
Thanks, man. Hey, have a good night.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
Right. We'll get specific on how many.
Oh, geez.
Let's try it again.
Eddie Van Halen.
10, 9, 10.
You get to play with Eddie Van Halen?
Same brother.
His brother. Who are you playing with? What's
Todd
the...
and I Ted and I and Whit Bender played together, but we're riding the current.
Almost.
But we
Go
were
back up there.
guitar players and we'll play
So you got
with
12,
Yeah.
10, 9.
and
Scott?
Scott offered.
12, 10,
And Ted came to me and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think I'll probably get my ass to the whole
7,
bus."
9, right?
Twist my arm and I'll do my best.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, Dan. Peace. All right. Like I said, never fails. Let's tune this thing up again. Forgive me for that, you guys. I had to step away. I gotta help people when they come into my shop because that's how we make money, right? That's how we keep the doors open and the lights on.
12, 10, 9.
Yeah. Lets me buy all sorts of cool stuff, like a Fender Tone Master Pro. And yes, I now own one. And I will tell you, that device is whew, amazing.
7, 9 is you're actually coming up here.
Oh, and also I want to thank Diet Pepsi for your support of my channel. You guys have been great. Our local Pepsi distributor has been really super cool. And there you go. I love Diet Pepsi. It's good stuff. Okay. Okay, let's check our neck relief now. Let's see what our neck relief's doing. And this is the order in which I do a setup on any normal guitar that I work on. We'll get you here.
Good. So you got 12 open, 10 open, 9.
The neck relief is a little bit shallow right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and call that
okay because we have some leeway. These Taylors are built so well that you don't have to have a total of a 12 thousandths of relief. Yeah, and our string action is still, it's still a little bit high on this one. We're about a 64th high on the low E string in particular.
Here, you're staying here.
Okay, let me just see how this thing feels to play it. Alright, so let's see. I'll get you up here where you can see what I'm doing here. And if you're doing a setup on your acoustic guitar, don't cut the strings off until you're done. Fair warning. Appreciate y'all hanging with me today. Hey, my brother Zach, what's happening, bro? I just happened to look up and saw you there. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well, man. Something wrong with this G string tuner. Can't get that harmony right there, or that harmonic. Oh, dinner. Yeah, yeah.
Turn it on. Shall I put them on the back side of these, or would you like a separate page?
You know, this thing feels really nice to play.
So I'm going to put finger numbers.
Boy, we're just so close to being right on the string action, but except for that treble E string is a little bit low. Look at this saddle. It almost looks like there's a notch cut in the treble E string. So let's so what I'm gonna do is the neck relief is fine, the first fret action is fine. I checked that earlier, but the string action is a little bit too high. So I just want to look at this nut, and if it's I'm sorry, the saddle, if it's okay, what I'm gonna do is pull this thing off of here and go knock about 2/64 of an inch. That's 1/32, mind you, of an inch off of this thing, at least on the low side, and nothing off of the high side to help the string action. Because I know on a Taylor we can get them awful low, and this gentleman wants super low string action. I think. Not I think, I know. But we'll get him there. We're almost done with this thing. It's pretty darn close. Everything I'm doing here, all I'm doing is putting fingerprints all over the guitar that I just got done cleaning, right? And I've asked a lot, why don't you use one of those drill string winders? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I've watched guys use them on videos on the interwebs, and I've watched guys using them on videos on the interwebs scratching the headstock of the guitar, and I don't even think the guy realized he was doing it. You hear it clicking against the headstock of the guitar because oftentimes these ends of these are cut, they're too deep, and they actually hit the wood on the headstock of the guitar. So what I do is every one of these I get, I sand them down shorter than they actually are from the factory, and I will certainly break this. Probably 10 guitars from now this thing will break. These things definitely have built-in failure, but they're a really helpful tool. But that's why I don't use the mechanical or the ones that you put on a drill. Not a fan. Alright, let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, no, there's no, these aren't notched. The bridge is not notched. So I am going to sand this down, and I'm going to do it right here at my bench, simply because simply because I only need to take a very small amount off of this. So let me show you what I'm going to do here, and we will do this up
nice and purty. Oh, let's see. Oh God, I hope I didn't get Sheryl Crow in there. Get sued for that. Her record company doesn't like anybody having her in their videos. I'm sure she doesn't care one little bit, but boy, they're trademarked or their copyright. Truly Nazis. Record companies are nothing but Nazis.
In other words, I played in front of an audience where I was getting paid. And
164. 132nd. There we go. Put a little scratch in here.
As long as that starts. Okay, so let's look at it.
Yeah, that looks good. All right.
So
We're just removing a tiny amount off of this saddle here. So I've got to be real careful about marking this. I'm not going to take it out to the sander because I don't think I have enough to remove off of this to really warrant taking it outside and putting it on the sander. And we are cutting it off at an angle because I don't need anything removed from the treble end of this, but I do need a little bit removed from the bass. Oh, shucks. Yeah, that had to happen. Of course.
That's it. Right? Except, look here for finger number. So, number 4 is pinky. So it's not really pinky on. Okay? And then the second finger there. Good.
Okay, so here's my line that I drew on there. You can see it. Very little. So let's remove some of that. And I'll show you how I do this just because I can. I go one direction, then I go the other. And I was sanding, this is the dust that I got left over from the bridge pens in this guitar, which that stuff's pretty good for making up, gluing up a fingerboard or something with dark wood. Yeah, okay. This is working good.
Good. Good. Okay, so start at the beginning. 12, open 10, open 9 with this finger. Open 10 with this one, good. 9. So you just repeated the same thing. Yeah. So 12, 10, 9, 10.
Go one direction, then go the other direction. Flip it over and go the other way.
Yes. That's okay. And so then after on 10, oh, let's see. Yeah, okay. 12, 10, 9, 10, 9, 7, 5, 7. And so here,
I've never heard Al McLeod play AC/DC before. This is an interesting day.
Third, pointer. But here, when you make the shift down to the lower part, your first finger and your third finger.
There's a lot of sanding, right? It's amazing how much powder comes off these things, and I've only removed that much thus far. Isn't that amazing? All this elbow grease. You gotta stay physically fit to do this stuff. Because not just any bloke can do this. You gotta keep your elbows lubed. You gotta keep your heart strong. Most importantly, I'm not gonna say it. Be true to yourself.
I hope y'all are exercising and eating right. It's so good for you. So I'm about halfway there.
And so if they're all
I'm almost there. Hopefully you can see what I'm up to here.
but 3, 5, 7, 9, and then that would be 11, but 12 not always a double dot, but more often than not. It's
Now I'm getting there. I'm almost done here.
15, 17.
There we go. I think I'm gonna call that good. Whew.
But as you're playing through
Yep.
this,
That looks
if I
really good.
look at where the dots are,
Now I'm just going over the whole thing a couple of times just to make sure that the bottom of it is level. If I have any discrepancies, this will correct a tiny amount of
in order to tell
unlevelness.
Yeah. No, wait a minute.
There's something unlevel. It's unlevel, not level, whatever.
To make sure I got the right numbers.
Yep, that looks excellent. Okay, let's see how this changes our string action here.
Sweet child of mine, intro tab. Oh, this is
Okay,
this is the ACD.
hit. We got these ends shaved off at an angle, so this all goes nice and easily. Strings don't get stuck on the end of your end pins. That sucks. I've had it happen and been playing a gig once, and the string popped off the end of the end pin, and boy, it scared the hell out of me. And my guitar went madly out of tune. That was kind of weird. While I'm doing this, it just occurred to me that I failed to write something down. So, I'm going to take a moment to write something down, because, you know, we're only in business here. Alright. Here we go. Now I'm sure that that little move I just made on that bridge or saddle is going to be right. Mark, hello. Yeah. Oscar, I'm very familiar with Django. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge pens, thank you.
They've got some senior citizens in there. And now, did you realize, I did, Neil Sean,
I know the capo's still on there. Mark, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Alright, let's tune this thing up. Now, I can safely... Okay. Let's see where our string action's at now. I'm guessing it's going to be damn near perfect.
Okay.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so now our string action is absolutely perfect on this thing. Probably could get it lower, just because it's a Taylor and they're so well built that you can get away with pretty much 3/64ths on the low E string and probably close to 2/64ths on the treble E string. But that depends on how comfortable you are playing an acoustic guitar with string action lower than an electric guitar. It's kind of odd to have one set up that way, but on a Taylor you can do that. They're so well built, and everything is done to such an exacting standard
I'm actually a bit rusty.
that
Yeah, because I've been playing bass. Yes, yes, it's better. They, you know, he's playing like this for so long. That this, I have to work my hands. I have to do a bunch of exercises like this.
so another thing that I do, or another one of the other 8 things that I do to create revenue for myself is I do online consulting to help folks get their home recording studios set up. And it's shocking how busy I've been doing that, given the fact that I'm not currently releasing any music.
I have. It is money day.
But folks have seen videos that I've done using Reaper,
Yes.
and it's shocking how many emails I get, people asking for help and a consultation, and it's also shocking how many people are willing to pay me pretty well to help them. or 7? Ugly chord. Oh, Joe, hello, man. Welcome. Man, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Yeah. And I will tell you, man, that what you just said, I'd like to make a statement about that. Having been an owner of a Taylor 414, which is their lowest end right now, U.S. made model. Everything below that, I believe, the 314, 214, 114s are all made overseas or in Mexico. If you buy an 814, you're going to spend about $6,000, maybe $5,000 on a well, maybe $4,000. Let's just be safe and say $4,000. You can look them up. They're not cheap, and they're very beautiful guitars, but I don't know what the advantage is over a 414. This is a custom 414, so it's got the sunburst finish. It's not your standard Sitka spruce top, you know. So I'd be very cautious about that unless you just got $4,000 to spend, or an extra $2,000. This thing, I think he said this thing was somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,800. In fact, I'm pretty sure, and that was not that long ago. It's a fairly new guitar, but just that's my take on that. I'm just playing chords that had come to my fingers. The thing sounds pretty good. Is it really? Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Matons or Matins, whatever. I don't know how you pronounce them. Yeah, those are pretty sweet guitars too. Let me check my mic level, because I'm not looking at OBS, and forgive me if this thing is booming, blowing up the mic. Oh, it sure is. Good grief, why is that happening?
Oh, it's good to see you. Thanks again.
Let me check this.
Okay, sounds great.
Let me remove that. Yeah.
Sounds good. This one you worked on.
Is it all right?
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, he said it was great.
That's all you made my day.
Awesome.
All right. You were learning an AC/DC tune?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I have, and it's funny that you picked that one in particular. I Angus Young, and my buddy Mark Tanner right now, who lives in Melbourne, Australia. He's watching us online. He's listening to us speak, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What'd you throw? Oh, okay. Thanks, Al.
I was doing what I was told.
I've been trying to. We've got this. We play a song called "What I Like About You." You know what I like about you, the Kinks.
Right.
And the band turns me loose. I get to play like 3 nice long guitar solos in them. So I have to keep people's attention, right? Because I play every lick I know in about 5 seconds flat. So, but I've been using licks like, let's see. You recognize that? Little band, Alice in Chains, right? So I'd throw that one in there. But you can imagine, you got to play it fast. Well,
there it is.
I mean, to do that at that tempo that we're playing that, man, that's tough. I haven't done it yet because I got to get my speed up.
Right.
But that is it's such a cool lick.
Yeah.
It is.
It is fun.
Yeah. And in that song, I can do it both.
There you go.
And then, because it both over that chord progression.
Awesome. That's it.
It works.
That's it.
God, it sounds good acoustic too.
Yeah, it is.
Marshall,
thanks,
unplugged.
Yeah. I haven't done that for a while.
That's great. Thanks, man.
That was fun to listen to. Thank you, Al. Yeah, you know, let me see what's going on with this microphone. I am not 100% certain why. Maybe this is. Oh, that's what it is. Forgive me, you guys. Let me see if I've got a. I think I have filters. Oh, you know what I did? I know. God, you guys. Okay. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I don't have any. I'm not amplifying this microphone at all. I'm just checking why my audio would have been, why it's blowing up this mic. Let me make sure. I got rid. Yeah, I don't have any gain added to it. Anyway, and also, yeah, my voice is clipping this microphone. Well, heck, that's awesome. I'm gonna just turn the volume down on it a little bit. That should have gotten a little bit quieter. And forgive me for the distortion. There we go. I'm not seeing any clipping at that point. Reminds me of my 414. That's interesting. Let's see here. Okay, I think I've solved the clipping. Oops, no, don't do that. I think I've solved the clipping problem. Man, I'm sorry about that. And Joe, I sure appreciate you saying something about that. Yeah. Yeah, that's, you know, the higher end models of Taylors are sure nice guitars. I just never could bring myself to pay that much money for one, because I've played a 914. Yes, they make a 914. I've played 814s and 714s, and I've had friends that own them. But when I played my 414, I've put it up against all of them, and I can't justify the $4,000 price difference. That's literally my only reason. And boy, I had my heart set on a 714 at one point in time. I just didn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to spend that kind of money on them. They're all such fantastic guitars. If you buy a Taylor acoustic guitar, you will not go wrong. They are just simply fantastic instruments. I love working on them because no matter what's wrong with them, you can fix it. Now, let me also point one other thing out that I remember the owner of this guitar brought to my attention. And this will happen on a $5,000 714 or a $7,000 914 or a $4,000 414. I want to bring this to your attention, and this is the one big flaw in Taylor guitars. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but I'm going to try and get this camera. I'm going to have to watch the stream here. So there's about, I don't know, 6-7 seconds of latency, probably, maybe more. Yeah, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the crack. The tops in these, and right here where this one's cracked, I don't know how well, if this will show. Yeah, there you can kind of see it a little bit, but it's starting to split right here. And so what I'm going to do, I am going to glue a gusset. Oh shucks. Let's activate. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Taylors are notorious for the ends of the fingerboards cracking, and forgive me for if you missed some of the audio. I'll try and repeat myself a little bit here. Taylors are notorious for cracking in the tops and in the on the fingerboards, not in the neck, but in the fingerboard where it meets the body. There's oftentimes a crack there. So what I've done to, and I knew that before I bought mine, what I've done to avoid, mine has a huge crack in the top. It's the shoekeeper's child, is what I like to call it. I didn't address the problem early enough, and it's a pretty good sized crack in it. Now I might show that on my channel one of these. I've played the guitar on my channel many times, but it's the one major flaw. But I always say it, if you don't have dings in your guitar, you're not playing it enough. And you know, a perfectly shiny, unchipped guitar, that's great. That is really awesome that it's never left your house or your studio or gone anywhere, and probably not been played very much. I'm not that careful. Also, I'm a working musician, so my guitars get really fucked up, and I don't care how much money I spend on them. But that is a major malfunction in the Taylor guitars, and there are lots of them that have gussets under them. So I'm going to glue a gusset on this. Yeah, I'm bringing Taylor in for setup. 414. So it had the tie on the through the body. That was something that Breedlove did a lot of. I have not seen a Taylor with the string through like a classical style guitar. Okay, Zach, yeah. 410, yeah, there you go. 24 years old. Dude, our guitars are the exact same age. I think we've talked about this before, Hugh. Welcome, Hugh. It's good to see you, man. Let's see. Yeah, he swears it's a steel string. I'd have to look at Taylor's. I mean, I try and keep myself well educated and informed about the different models of Taylor guitars because I'm such a huge fan. And also, where they're built is, I mean, where I live is where they mill the wood for the Taylor guitars in the United States anyway, and where they build them is not that far. I could drive to the Taylor factory and I don't know, maybe it would take me 14 hours to drive there. So you have high respect for them. And Bob Taylor, I think, his engineering feat on his guitars, his acoustic guitars with respect to the bolt-on necks, is right up there with Leo Fender's bolt-on neck. And how it is so far superior to the glue-on neck from Gibson, and that it can be repaired. Where, yes, you can repair a Gibson guitar neck, but not any average Joe can do it. So, I think my pancreas is yelling at me. I think my blood glucose is a little bit low. I may have taken a little bit too much insulin with my lunch. So, I think I've kind of finished this project for today. And I've got a little bit more to do on this guitar. But we got the string action situation solved, which was the main concern, but I still have to pull these strings off of here. I did that kind of as a rough setup, and I used kind of a throwaway set of strings, although they are clear tones. That's what I'm going to use on this guitar, but I need to pull the strings back off of this and put a gusset in here on that crack to try and help prevent that crack from getting worse. And it's really a bummer. So that's the one big flaw. I think other guitar techs would probably testify to the fact that they've seen a lot of Taylors with cracks in the top, and right where the one is in this guitar. It's rare that I see one that doesn't have a crack in the top, and I got to be honest. But I will also add to that it doesn't affect the sound of the guitar in any way that I think any human being would ever recognize. That is an opinion because I can't prove it. So that's where I'm going to leave that subject. But it is something that would be nice if they could figure out how to solve that. It might mean that they would probably have to put gussets under the top during the manufacture of the guitar, or change their bracing layout, whatever, to keep that from happening. It's really kind of a bummer. So before I go, I just want to show you guys another project that I'm working on here at my shop. Just real quick, just kind of keep you guys in the know. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Gosh, it's getting late too. Holy smokes. Alright. So, I kind of brought this up a little earlier in my broadcast, but I want to show you all what I'm up to here. This was kind of a big deal. Now I'll just give you a little bit of a history on this guitar. It was rebuilt in about 3 or 4 years ago. The top had a new top binding put on it. A completely new top, book match top, was made for this guitar and installed. And in doing so, obviously you have to pull the neck off of the guitar. And so it's got a new top, a new bridge, obviously a setup and all that stuff done on it. But unfortunately, this guitar, sadly, the guy that did the work on this, who also remounted the neck on this thing, did not mount the neck at the proper neck angle. As we all know, the neck needs to go downhill from the body of the guitar to the nut, right? doesn't go uphill, it goes downhill. Well, this one wasn't done that way, and so fortunately today I got the neck glued back on her. And just for the record, this is a 1958 Martin D21. It has the serial number on the neck block that coincides with that date. That proves that it is a 1958 Martin D21. And I had to pull the neck off of it after it was only rebuilt only 4 years ago. So, you know, it's really a bummer that the technician, the gentleman who redid this thing, kind of might have been an oversight on his part, or an undersight on his part. Yeah. Yeah, and you might be right on that one, but the thing is, with the amount that this guitar, and again, it's a Martin, it's a 58 Martin, and here's my biff with Martin, and I will not own one simply for this fact. I almost bought one once. Martin on this guitar, again, remember this guitar was built in 1958, right? Hang on, let me check what's happening here with my blood glucose. I might have to end this stream a little quicker than I thought. I think my blood glucose is a little bit low. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get a Pepsi. It doesn't have a truss rod in the neck, and for the life of me, I cannot understand why a manufacturer of a guitar would not put a truss rod in a guitar neck in 1958. I mean, maybe at that time it was such a new thing that they didn't realize how valuable it was, but I think they're still building them without truss rods. So to me, that's you know, it's kind of like using hide glue on a guitar in today's day and age, which we know is an inferior product. Why would you do that aside from nostalgia? Nostalgia doesn't build good guitars. Sorry. There are 59 Les Pauls out there that absolutely suck. It's known. So really a bummer that you know, this guy that built this one, and unfortunately it doesn't have a truss rod, so there was nothing I could do, and it was super high string action, so the neck was tilted way uphill. So anyway, I had to do that with this guitar, and you know, I'm happy that I'm able to do that sort of stuff and help this guy bring this beautiful guitar back to life. He is gonna love it when I get done. So I'm really excited to get this thing, and probably I'll think of what I've got. Probably going to get strings on it and have it make a noise tomorrow, and I may do a stream of that. I may do a live stream of that tomorrow afternoon. I've just got a lot to dig in with this guitar. And in fact, this thing's been glued up long enough that I'll go ahead and I'm going to pop off these two clamps because I can give you a little better look at this guitar. And the guy that rebuilt this thing, man, he did a fantastic job. This thing is really beautiful. A couple little dings in the finish on this thing, but we'll give you a flyby here. And there is a little bit of residue from glue this morning when I glued this thing up. I glued it up at about 11 o'clock this morning, and after 1 hour, the Tight Bond, which is a better product than hide glue, and you know, Joe, I'm curious your thoughts on that and what kind of glue you might use on a job like this. Would you use hide glue, or would you use something like Tight Bond or Elmer's wood glue? But here it is. And also, when the neck was rebuilt, he had to refinish the head at that time. The reason this guitar was rebuilt was because it got wet. It was in a house somewhere, I believe it was on the Oregon coast, and unfortunately it got left unattended. And really tragically, you know, this would be a very, very expensive guitar, but to the owner of this guitar, it's priceless. Hello, Jampro, man, welcome. It's Camellia, hello again. It's good to see you.
Well, trust. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Joe, you and I are in total agreement on that. Only tight bond. Okay, so, you know, and I think Hugh would probably agree on that with respect to the tight bond. Higher fish glue. Dude, you and I in the same shop would be dangerous. I got to tell you that, man. Probably do some really remarkable. So this was a big project, and you know, he spent, I think, to have the top top rebuilt on this instrument. The price for that was in the neighborhood of $2,000. Hang on, I gotta activate this. All this wonderful technology for taking care of my myself. So it's really sad that it came down to having to pull the neck back off of this. And yep, I figured this. So there's 3 people in this chat, and well, there's 3 people on this stream who basically make a living repairing guitars, and none of us would use tight bond. Oh shucks, he came unplugged again. Doggone it. Thanks, you. You can hear me, but you can't see me. Yeah, deactivate, activate. There we go. Sorry about that, you guys. I got to bring a different camera down here. I'll take this one home tonight. And I don't know if it's the USB port on my computer, or this old laptop, or just the camera's a piece of hunk of junk. But I'm hoping to improve that. I'm not sorry it happened. It's just I'm not a rich man. Yeah. Yeah. Tidy. Yep. Whitey tidies. Yeah. And that's exactly. I believe this is the best wood glue. In fact, it's proven. This is the wet bed. Well, there's probably other stuff out there that would hold glue together better, but you can't take it apart. And this stuff is really easy to get apart, but to get it apart, it takes a tremendous amount of heat and moisture. You know, hide glue, if you leave your guitar sitting in the sun, the neck will fall off of it, or the bridge will pop off, or something. That will not happen with tight bond. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. Okay, I've got to get going, and I thought I'd just share a little bit about that with you and this beautiful Martin. And the Taylor is really close to being done, although I do have to glue some gussets in there to try and help stop that crack from going. So it seems like no matter what, nobody's built a perfect guitar yet, aside from, and I'll leave you with this, composite guitars, carbon fiber composite guitars. I put a new set of strings on one today and did a setup on it. And when I say setup, I did an intonation adjustment on it, and it's one that was made and built in Sweden. And I'm telling you guys, that is one of the greatest sounding guitars I've ever heard. And I could jump in a fucking swimming pool with it and get out and play it. The only thing that might get damaged in that is the electric tuner, which is an aftermarket electric tuner that he stuck in the thing, so it's replaceable. Yeah. Yeah, you ain't kidding. You guys are great. So with that note, I've got to run over and get me a Pepsi. I just ran out of my gummy Lifesaver gummies. I have to keep those around because of my condition. Don't eat that shit. If you're not a diabetic, don't ever eat that shit. It's terrible for you. So thank you all for being here again. Thanks for my sponsors, Diet Pepsi, Ernie Ball, Smiling Bill, and and Dunlop also. I appreciate your sponsorship and your support. And Mark, it was great to see you. Hugh, let's see. Joe, thank you for being here. Jamprosound, Camellia, you guys subscribe. I know y'all are probably subscribed to everybody's channel, but if you're not, go to their channels and subscribe and hit the thumbs up before you leave. I'm still at about 70% unsubscribed to my channel, so it doesn't take much to hit that subscribe button. It's not going to make any big difference in my my life, but it's cool to see that number move, and mine does move pretty consistently, so I think I'm doing okay. All right, you guys, peace. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And Mark, I hope to talk to you this evening if you're around. So hit me up. Joe, thanks, man. I appreciate your input, man. That really means a lot that you were here today. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Excellent, Mark. Thank you for that. All right. I'll call you. I have students tonight, but we'll talk. All right, brother.